Good afternoon and a very warm welcome. We are back once again and proving what the answer to the question, what is the best hour of the week? Yes, it's the power hour. This is your chance to catch up on all the tips and the tricks that you may have missed or find out whether there are other bits of software that TaxCalc and Engager can offer you that you're not taking full advantage of. So today, I am joined as ever by fabulous Nick Moss, who many of you will already know, but if you haven't, Nick runs the professional services division here at TaxCalc. I am also joined by Mr. David Owen from Workiro, who's going to be sharing a whole lot about how the Workiro and TaxCalc and Engager integrations are ever deepening. So get your questions ready. He's going to be doing a whole session on this later. We will be running our usual choose your own adventure style. So I'm going to be sharing a whole lot of polls with you. So you can choose what content that you get to see today, you lucky things. So before we go, a little bit of housekeeping. You've got 3 options at the bottom of the screen there. So the chat is for you guys. If you want to talk amongst yourselves, please use that. We will be using that in the quiz a little bit later. If you really want to make sure that we answer a question, use the questions tab, because only we'll see that, and it tends to be a little less crowded than the general chat. And I will be putting some polls live, so please do use that, and a little red button will appear on the polls tab if you do that. So thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, gents. Should we just get started? How's your week been, Nick? You've been busy?
Yeah, been pretty busy. I've got no internet at home, hence why I've got this proper budget set up at the minute. I'm sat in my auntie's spare bedroom recording this, so I'm doing my best for you guys today. I'll try to share the screen as well as I can, but we'll see how we get on.
I did wonder where you were, to be honest, but that would explain it. Right. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I am going to get started. So I'm going to put a poll live, and this is the first of our sessions. If you go to the polls button, you should be able to see that. So you can choose 5 things you probably never knew about TaxCalc accounts production, 5 things that accelerate your personal tax return, 5 things to improve your CT performance, and data mining and using custom fields. So you please choose which one that you want to see. You use the poll button there. Only a couple of you have done it so far. I urge you to go in there.
Early leader, Andy. I was expecting this as an early leader.
Data mining and custom fields seems to be roaring ahead.
Accounts is catching up with personal tax.
Do you know Ladbrokes now take bets on this? So this is well watched. I worried if it's being rigged. Right, let's call it data mining and custom fields. Poll closed. Nick, what can we learn? What do we often forget about data mining and custom fields?
Yeah, so in TaxCalc and Engager, to be fair, it's the same concept. I'll do it in TaxCalc to start with. If people want to see more, I can show them in Engager as well. But TaxCalc comes as standard with a whole host of fields we would expect you as an accountant to want to hold. Obviously things like UTR numbers, national insurance numbers, which office they're part of if you're part of a multi-office setup. But we can't predict absolutely everything that an accountancy practice would want to store on their client record. So we give you the ability to create and add your own custom fields to be able to then go and store that information on your client record, and then also have the ability to report on it. So if I share my screen, let's see what we can get out of this. So let's share my screen. And let's go for this one. Let's say share my screen. We've only got one, so let's see how we get on. Andy, let me know when that's come through to you, because I now obviously can't see you guys.
Yeah, not yet. There you go. We're on.
Fantastic. So let me go into TaxCalc. Okay, so in TaxCalc, if I go to Practice Manager and click Launch, and I've got my whole host of clients in my database. If I go and open up someone like Adam Alpha, it takes me into the practice management part of TaxCalc. And then on the left-hand side, we have our pretty standard sections that come as part of TaxCalc. But if I go to my engagement tab as an example, can we see in this center section here, I've got a section for custom fields where I can list, for example, who the accounts preparer is, who the tax preparer is, who the bookkeeper is. I appreciate these types of fields are only really relevant for slightly large firms who've got multiple members of staff, but it's an example. However, the one beneath it, such as does the client take out free protection insurance, yes or no, super helpful reportable field. So if, for example, you wanted to send an email out to all of your clients that take out fee protection insurance for their renewal, all the ones who don't take out fee protection insurance, an email to say why they should have it, it allows you to segment your clients super, super easy. So let's show you how to go and add additional custom fields. So if I go right back to my starting point in TaxCalc, and I've got my settings section for Admin Center. So if I select Admin Center at the bottom, and then on the left-hand side, I have my taskbar. If you were to select Applications here on the left-hand side, and in the middle, I've got a list of all the products that I've got access to using in TaxCalc. My list may be longer than yours because I have access to all the different products. So I appreciate yours would only have the products which you subscribe to. If you were to then double click on, say, Practice Manager here, it then takes you into the ability to go and edit the fields that Practice Manager has in there. And then on the left-hand side in the middle of that list, there is a section for custom fields. Now we can see here that I've got lots of custom fields that I've already created. Okay, but if you wanted to go and create your first one, on the top right-hand corner of the page, we have a Create Field option. In here, if you were to select Create Field, it will then ask you in a drop-down box, where on the client record do you want that to appear? Because there are 6 different places on the client record that you can create custom fields. Personally, to me, I prefer all my custom fields being on the engagement page. The reason being is if I just go back to the engagement page in Adam Alpha, it's a lovely spot to go and add them. There's a nice big gap effectively to put them in. Whereas if you go and put them somewhere else, for example, I think another one's contact information. If you go and create a custom field, it squishes it too far on the bottom. You don't tend to see it. Whereas engagement gives you the ability to have a nice panel for those custom fields. So if you go to Customize Practice Manager, click Create Field in the top right-hand corner, as I mentioned before, and in the drop-down box, choose the engagement page. That is where the custom field will sit. You can then choose which clients do you want that custom field to be on. For example, if it was something to do with an MTD report, you probably only want that to be available on individuals. But if it's something to do with a CT600 payment reference, for example, you'd only want that to be available on limited companies and charities. But if I say select all of them on here, just so it appears on all of my clients, I could put on here, do they use the Workiro portal? Yeah. And then in the field type, you can have different options in here. It would likely be a tick box option in terms of yes or no. So if I click tick box and then click save, that will now add that into my list. If I then go to finish on the left-hand side and finish and save, that will now save that as an option in my practice management database. So if I was to now go and close Adam Alpha down and then go and reopen Adam Alpha, we'll see in the engagement tab now on the left-hand side, I should put client, does they use the Workiro portal? Great example. Do they use the Workiro portal? Yes or no? I could say yes. So if I was to now go and report on that, I'll show you how to go and report on that in a second. They will then appear in that list. Okay. Equally, you could almost assume that if it's blank, the answer's no in that example. So when you run the reports, say where they don't have it, and you may want to go to invite them in Workiro, you could say, only show me the ones where the answer is no or blank as well. So I'm going to say yes on there. However, if you know that lots and lots of clients in your database have the answer to that as yes, you are able to select multiple clients, either by a control and click to select multiple ones, or a shift and click, like you can do in lots of other Microsoft products to select multiple clients. And then within here, you can go to bulk update clients on the left-hand side. And with this, you are able to mass update custom fields. So in there, do they use the Workiro portal? You can update that to say yes and update, and they would update that answer for all of those client records. Now, because I've added that as a custom field, I'm also then able to have that custom field as a column on my practice management homepage. So I'm able to right click, and in this list, right at the bottom, there's custom fields, and I can pick, do they take, it's towards the bottom, is it at the bottom? Might not be in that list anymore. Definitely one for me to report back. It should be in that list. It's not in that list. This is a live demonstration, everyone. I'll feed that back.
Pauline on the phone now.
Get Pauline on the phone, yeah. Say that one needs to be added in. Yeah, custom fields, when you add new ones in, they should appear in this drop-down list. It's not appearing. Live demos, right? Live demos, children, animals, right? It would appear in that list. It's not appearing. We'll go back and find out why that's not. But the whole point is you will be able to show that as a column here on that practice management page. Once you've got that information, and in reporting, it's a case of going to Practice Manager as we are here, and then going to Report Manager on the left-hand side. If I went to Report Manager, we have a whole list of reports that the system comes with a standard with the padlocks on. But if you wanted to create our own report, it's a case of going to New Report on the left-hand side, choosing what type of report you want. Client and system is generally the always one that people want to start with, unless they want something really specific and need to have different filters. But client and system as a default is perfect. Click Select. Give it a report name. So I could say Workiro Portal Clients. Yeah. And copy and paste that into the description. And then in the client selection, this is where you apply the filter to say which clients do I want to appear in that list. Well, if I'm just showing a list of Workiro Portal clients, I want to say, show me all the clients where the answer to that question was yes. So this is where you can go to Advanced Client Selection Data Mine, and then click Data Mine on the right-hand side. Bear in mind, if anyone wants to go through this in your own time, this session is being recorded automatically, and you can watch it back at any point. If you go to Add Condition, if I just search for Workiro here, you can see that Do You Use the Workiro Portal is now there. I can select it, say yes, hit Run, and it will have those clients that I selected before on that list of which ones took the say yes to Workiro Portal. In the report customization, which is the next tab on the left-hand side, this is where you choose of those clients that you filtered in to the report, what data of theirs do you want on it? So I could go to report customization. I could go and open up these particular folders and say, what data of theirs do I want to be on the report? So I want their code, I want their name, I will probably want under contact information their phone number and email address. And just to confirm, you'll probably want the custom field of the answer being yes on there just so you can see it. So do they use the Workiro Portal? Yes. So if I now run that report very quickly, it will now show me in my TaxCalc database which clients added yes to that particular field, and if they have a phone number and email address stored on their client record. Of course, there's lots and lots of things you can run reports on, but from a custom field perspective, that's what we've got time for today. I don't know if there's been any questions in the chat, Andy, while I've been going through that, or any comments on that?
Remarkably quiet, actually. And chat, I would like to know, are you using custom fields already, or is this new to you, or who thinks that they've just learned something? Yes or no answer, please. It's very quiet in the chat. I think it's because it's the weather. I think this is what's suppressing people. So thank you for that, Nick. That was amazing. I tell you what, let's break things up. Let's have a little, let's do the quiz, because we've got a quiz. We always have a quiz, and we've got a very special guest, David, who I mentioned earlier. And we are going to be giving away one of our TaxCalc shirts, as we normally do. But this is a reason for Sarah Solo to actually take part in the quiz once again, because there's something new. Workiro have kindly donated it's a tracker tag, so you can track the items on your phone, much in the way that you can use it to find documents in Workiro. Is that right, Dave?
It absolutely is. Yeah, that's our tenuous link to be able to find anything that you want. So yeah, whether it's a set of keys, your luggage, whatever, I believe there's some Apple AirTags on offer here.
Apple AirTags. Okay, so Sarah, you can take part in this. So the question is, Nick, hit us with a question. Go on.
To the nearest round 1,000, I'll go with. How many Q1 submissions did TaxCalc make for MTD in Q1? How many MTD Q1 submissions went through TaxCalc?
So how many quarterly updates were made by the 7th of August through TaxCalc's quarterly filer to the nearest 1,000? We've got a winner.
Tell you what, Andy, that might be a new record. That might be a new record.
That might be a new record. So the winner is, stop it now. Every time this happens, we never utterly refuse it. It was Michael. Where's he gone?
Michael Patterson.
Michael Patterson. 55,000 was the answer. Well done, Michael Patterson. If you would do us a favor and drop in your details into the questions tab, we'll be able to make sure that you get your shirt sent. Let us know what size you would like as well, and we will get that and your Workiro tag to you. So congratulations, well done, Michael. quiz, always best. But 55,000 is it's an impressive number, right? We were very pleased with that.
Yeah, it's definitely more than we were expecting. I think that's coming out in terms of the data that you had in your poll, Andy. So you put online today, right? In terms of, whether accountants filed more submissions on spreadsheets or through
That's
software, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
It was spreadsheets do seem to be a more common. We don't have any final numbers. We don't have any numbers from HMRC as yet, but that looks like the way forward. So, okay, so well done. Thank you very much. Cheers, Michael. Yes, you are. You should be proud. And if we see you at one of our events, we want you wearing that shirt. Okay, so let's go to part 2. I'm going to put the poll live yet again. So this is choose your own adventure. Take your pick from the Power Hour menu. You have a choice this time. So we are doing basic navigation features that you never knew existed. There are always ones that you've never knew existed. We're going to do filing an MTD quarterly filing, just in case anyone didn't get it the first time. Or perhaps was using something else, didn't quite work out the way they thought they would, and they want to see how TaxCalc's bridging software works. We've also got accounts, so we're going to be looking at either charity or groups. You can choose either one there. So
I love it when people select the one that says basic, Andy.
Basic, really.
I can do basic.
Really simple.
I can do basic, yeah.
I'm going to change it to advanced next time, just to see what happens, because they're the same.
Absolutely.
Okay, we're going to go with basic navigation features that you never knew existed.
Yeah, here we go. So, with basic navigation, I appreciate that long-standing users of Power Hour and viewers of this with me and Andy will probably know some of these, or at least I hope you know some of these. I'm going to use and direct to Andy's favourite bit of the TaxCalc system, which is the magic cog in the top right corner of the TaxCalc system. So let's share.
That was years in development. That cog.
Absolutely. Here we go. So Andy, let me know when that's come through to you.
Not quite yet. There you go. Done.
Fantastic. Okay, so some bits of TaxCalc navigation that people didn't know existed. Okay, so if I was to go to Practice Manager, and look for a client such as Adam Alpha, some people may not know that you can just right-click on Adam Alpha there and open up Adam Alpha in tax return production. Some people think that people don't even know you can even do that. So that allows you then go and open up Adam Alpha's personal tax return. So I could go and open up his 2025 tax return very, very easily. And that's just simply by right-clicking on the client record and taking you into there, okay? After that, once I've got, say, Adam's personal tax return open, people don't know that if I went into the wrong tax year, or I went into 2025, I should be in 2026. But you're happy to have 2025 open. You can click Andy's favorite button in the system, which is the magic cog in the top right corner. That then allows you to either open another client in tax return production at the same time, or potentially another tax year. So I could say click open another tax year to then go and open up 2026. So I can have 2025 and 2026 open up at the same time. Okay. Now, to be clear to everyone, that only counts as one concurrent user license. So I can have as many tax returns open as I like, and that's absolutely fine. Equally, if I was to just close that one down again, just to show you another bit of function, if I'm doing, say, Adam Alpha's tax return, and I went, he also has joint income with another individual. If I say go to joint income reporting, we can see that Adam has got joint income with one of my clients, Zebedee Zulu. Some of you may be able to work out how I name my clients in my database. I can click the cog in the top right corner to click open another client in tax return production. So I can then go and search for Zebedee and have Zebedee's tax return open at the same time as Adam Alpha. So I could be doing, say, husband and wife's tax return. If you've got joint properties, quite a common one, I believe you've been looking at. You can have multiple tax returns open at the same time for multiple individuals. And then another bit of nice navigation is if I just close Zebedee's, if you're doing Adam Alpha's personal tax return, I imagine a lot of the time you'll also be doing their sole trader accounts potentially at the same time. You can click the cog again, Andy's favorite button. We're going there for the third time today already. And you can then go to open in accounts production. So if I go to open in accounts production, I can then choose which trade I want to open, because Adam might have multiple trades that we do sets of accounts for. I could then go and open up the relevant accounts production period. So I can then have Adam's personal tax return and his accounts side by side. But going one step further than that, unlike me today, where, like I said, I'm working from my auntie's spare bedroom and I only have my laptop screen to work with, I imagine most of the time you've got multiple monitors in the setup that you're working from. So what you are able to do is to go to Windows at the top, and that's not Microsoft Windows, it's to do with Windows of the product. You can then choose multiple window mode. Choose multiple window mode, and that then pops out each of the products to its own separate tab, which allows you to have accounts on one screen, tax on the other. So if anyone wants to just let us know in the comments whether you knew about the multiple window mode, yes or not, yes or no, yes or not, yes or no, primarily because I think that might be, Andy, the most common thing we go through on the Power Hour, because I believe not enough people are aware of that amazing functionality.
Yeah.
Window. And then when you're done, you go to Windows and single window mode, and it pops them all back together in the same order they were before. Okay, so hopefully that's just some nice basic ones in there in terms of nice bit of navigation in the system, being able to open up lots of different tabs, navigate to different products at the same time. Appreciate that might be a little basic for some. That's fine, right? If you're a massive viewer of the Power Hour, but yeah, in TaxCalc, there's some things that I don't think enough people are aware that the system can do. So let me just jump back into live. So I apologise for this. Let me just stop sharing. There we go. Right, should be good now.
Also, what I would say is, if anyone's out there who knows something about TaxCalc or Engager that they think they've discovered, let us know or put it in the chat. But let us know, because we may not be majoring on it. We may be unaware of it. But let us know, because we're really interested in what you're discovering that you're able to do that you think that everyone else knows, but they might not. So please do let us know. Really grateful to hear your stories on that. Okay, so I am going to do another couple of things with the polls. First of all, I'm going to put together I'm just going to put a poll live. If you see anything today that you would like to follow up on, you would like any follow up about TaxCalc, about Engager, or indeed Workiro, a poll has just gone live. Please indicate in there which products you want to be followed up about, and we will take care of you and answer any questions. And I'm going to put another poll live to decide what we're going to be covering in the next section. And so this one here, this is a new one. So you have the choice here of finding out more about Workiro, about TaxCalc and Engager and how they integrate, what your document management options are with TaxCalc. If you just want to hear from Dave because you think he hasn't had a chance to talk, you can hit that option, or find out about Workiro and what it is and how you can use it. So please indicate there which one you would like. It's a real spread here.
There should have been an option, Andy, about not hearing from me and you anymore. That should have been the other option.
Yeah, mute Nick and Andy. Okay, so it looks like people want to know about Workiro, TaxCalc and Engager and how they integrate. So David, just time for you to step in.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. I'll share my screen, shall I? I'm a little bit miffed, chaps, to be honest. I heard that the last time you did one of these at the Christmas special that Nick and Danny came dressed as elves, and seeing it's the hottest day of the year, I was expecting like you two to be doing a David Hasselhoff in your TaxCalc speedos or something. I don't know. I was just,
we were going to, but we were paid off, and they said don't do it.
I can get my Ibiza sunglasses on if you want, Dave. I can stick them on if you want.
That's all I like. That's what we're looking for. Okay, so just sharing my screen now. So if you could.
It would be worthwhile, Dave, to introduce Workiro for those who do not know anything about you, God forbid, but there may be some. So just if you do an intro, if you would. Sure.
So some of you may know us from the heritage of our product Virtual Cabinet, which was the best of breed document management solution for accountants. Been around for the last 20, 25 years. We have a sister organization based over in the US that you also might have heard of called SmartVault. And Workiro is the latest and greatest out of the stable. It's the next generation, the evolution of Virtual Cabinet in the cloud. Hopefully that's a good enough explanation, Andy, or is more needed there?
No, I think that'll cover it just fine. Thank you, Dave.
And hopefully I'll let the product do the rest of the talking here rather than my waffle. So if I jump straight into it, what you're actually looking at is Workiro. So at the moment, I've got it resting as a screen looking at the connections. Why I'm doing that is because that's the first point of the integration between Workiro and TaxCalc. So we've built the integration so that you have a single record of truth, and of course that should be TaxCalc Engager. So any existing clients that you have or any new clients that you add into that product automatically synced across into Workiro. So if this was a client here, James Thornton and Oakfield Property Holdings in TaxCalc, that would be automatically synced, so you don't have any data entry there. If you wanted to go to any of your clients, you can just click on your clients area and you can start to type for exactly what you're looking for and go straight to it because all of the records are there. But it gets much, much better than that, as I will reveal as we go through. But if I just go and find one of my clients, first of all, so you get the basic concepts of Workiro, which is, as I was saying, the evolution of Virtual Cabinet. And what I'm looking at now is the document section of Oakfield Property Holdings. So this is where we would traditionally replace the sort of Windows folder structures that accountants tend to really fight with. So Nick, I mean, maybe you can share some of your experiences of working in practice before, but I would describe documents go to folders to die, really.
Yeah, 100%, right? Especially when, when I worked in practice, I wasn't particularly great at putting it in the right folder or giving it the right name. And as soon as you do that, you might as well have never saved it in the first place, right? Because it's never to be seen again. We all know what the Windows search facility is like for documentation, right? The Workiro one, as Dave's about to show here, is outrageous in comparison, right? Which means that if someone does put the wrong tag on something, it's still able to be found. So yeah, absolutely, Dave.
Absolutely.
Chalk and cheese.
Brilliant, thank you. So what we're looking at as a document section is you're looking at the entire client file, right? And if I just collapse the groups for a second so everyone knows what's going on, what Nick was describing there is what we describe as your kind of like central filing convention. So where you have your traditional folder structure, where you have your yellow folders and categories within that, we can replicate the same thing within Workiro, but without having any of the drawbacks of the centricity of the folder structure. And we've all been there, right? So we go down the tree, go to look for what we're looking for, can't quite find it. Is it in another folder? Searching around, things get lost. It's a needle in a haystack. So you still get the ease of being able to very quickly click on any of these areas. But you're able to, within Workiro, you're able to go across all of the sections really easily. So if I found them open and I just say, well, actually,
can you just minimize your because we've got multiple S's.
There you go. Yeah, sure. Is that better?
Yeah, perfect.
So I was just showing those if you wanted to go across all of the sections within the file. So you've got all those subsections within your client file and you wanted to group up all of the correspondence and documents you might be having with HMRC specifically there. You can see how quick it is to get to that part of the file. If you wanted to turn the file into document types very quickly and then go to all your emails, for example, or your Word documents, or you wanted to change the order into document dates, you can do all of that so you can see in a chronological order. So you can see there's multiple ways of slicing and dicing the file, and there's obviously a lot more to this, but I'm just giving you a bit of a beauty parade as to how you'd get in and out of the file. Adding documents, really straightforward. So you can go in here, simply drag and drop, or I'll go and upload it from my device. You can see it's integrated into other areas that you might be using commonly as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab an engagement letter as an example that I've been working on. And as soon as I drag and drop this or upload it, you can see that it's grabbed the original file name. You can adjust the date, so it can be the date of the actual document and things like that very easily. But you can see, because I'm already in Oakfield Property Holdings, it's picked up that tagging convention. And this is where we start to guide the users through that process. So I can very quickly just say, this is my letter of engagement. But you can see the latest release here is we've got AI baked into everything that we're doing within Workiro, starting to drop down that value for you. So if I now ask Workiro to analyze it with its AI, it's immediately reading the document, pull back the classification that I need, which is letter of engagement, and I can just hit save, and off it goes and saves a document there in the right section, so I can see it later on very, very easily. So that's like anything that's ad hoc that needs to be added to the file. But what about when you're actually working across emails? So if I can just, sorry, give me a sec. Let's just remove the web stuff out of the way there. I've hopped across to Outlook now, right? So a couple of things to note is that over in the quick view, you can see here that there's some blue tags going on in the column here in my quick view. And then if I look in the email itself, it says that this email is in Workiro. And over in the right-hand side, you can see in the Workiro Outlook add-in the detail of what's actually happening. So this is an email that I've told that I want it to automatically capture, and you can see the correspondence going back between myself and James Thornton here. And it's actually telling you that there's a current conversation capture going on, which I can stop if I need to. If we've moved on and we're starting to talk about the football or anything, we can stop that going in the file. But you can see exactly where it relates to as well. So it's being filed against Oakfield Property Holdings, but also being filed against James Thornton. Crucially though, it is not filing duplicates of that email. So you will see the current version under version control, but you will be able to traverse across the record, which is really important. It's almost like what Nick was talking about there, where you have one director, multiple companies, and you want to be able to file it in different places, but not have duplicates. You can do that all with Workiro. So you're probably wondering, how does that all happen? It's really straightforward. So if I just go to send a new email, I'll call this TaxCalc demo. You just write your email as normal, and if you want it captured into Workiro, you just tick the box, and you can see automatically it knows with the integration, because it's picked up the record, that James Thornton is related to Oakfield Property Holdings. If there was required further classification that was mandated from your practice, so specific areas, etc. So I want this in the tax section in the correspondence all the time, and it must have a year, for example, in there, because you'd want to be able to group up by tax year and things like that as you're starting to work with the file. You can do all of that, hit save. When you go to send your email, it'll automatically capture it from that point on. Really importantly around email capture, as we've evolved Virtual Cabinet, we've learned from some of the suggestions all the time from our clients. So what it does is it will automatically capture the email, but if other people involved in the practice are CC'd on the email, it will retrospectively go to their Outlook and let them know it's been filed as well. So everyone's aware of what's going on at all times, so you're not doing duplicates and things like that. And we don't have deferred responsibility of the email capture. And when it goes into the file, it always keeps the latest version of that email at the top. So many systems that have any email capture, they just throw the file at the actual email at the client file, and then you've got like a massive string of the same conversation, and it gets very noisy and difficult to look through the file. So that's the email capture. So as you can see here, you can go across the file, find what you're looking for. That was the email that we were just looking at there. And if I just double click it, I can see the whole conversation of the email there in the viewer. And also, if I now go to the document details, you can see the version history of all of the rest of the emails all captured in there. So you know exactly what's going on if you've got complete clarity. Whilst I'm here just looking at the file, really easy. So if you want to go and look through the file we've built in a document viewer, Some people like the visualization of the documents. So when they're coming through and reviewing the documents, multiple screens, as Nick was talking about, magnifying glasses, all of that sort of stuff, all built in there. So you're probably saying, okay, but what's that? What do we do with TaxCalc more than just integrating the records? So if I go across to TaxCalc now, I've got the practice manager open on Oakfield Property Holdings, right? That's the record that we've just been talking about. But if I go and grab a form, for example, so I'm just going to launch Oakfield Property Holdings up, and I'm going to do a CT41G. I'm going to cheat a little bit because you're normally going through your process, but for the sake of the speed of the demo, I'm just going to say I've done that and I've finished it. And you can see there's a button there that says send to the document management. And this is where if you click that, it is going to pop up a screen, tell you the filing convention in there, so you can see the date, the type of document, who the client is. If you want to add further audit back in TaxCalc in the communications activity, you just leave that ticked, or if you don't, you can untick it. I'll leave it on for now. So I'm just going to hit send, and you can see what that's now doing is, rather than you going through a save as process, which you're having to do with your Windows folders at the moment, right? What is the logic for this particular document? We've got some file folders there that maybe everyone's subscribing to, but I'm going to make sure that this one is called this particular thing for my logic, but that might be different for someone else's. It's that administrative burden and cognitive load all the time that is just wasting so much of our effort. So this is all done automatically for you. You don't need to think about it, and it's 100% correct every single time. It's now telling you that that has been sent to Workiro and it's been done successfully. So if you click on the link there, that will instantly drive you back to the relevant Workiro record. You can see I've got Oakfield Property Holdings there. The latest document that's gone in there was our CT41G. If I go to the document section, because I was just looking at the overview there, and you can see there, that's the document that's come in on the 13th of August. So,
and just on that, Dave, that the examples that I mentioned before about what, why firms who haven't got a document management system in general, run the risk of it being not saved as the right name or under the right client. That function there just immediately wipes out that total problem. There's no danger of it ever going to the wrong client, no danger of someone giving it the wrong name. It's just in the right place, the right name at the right time immediately. And I think that's so undervalued and unnoticed, I think.
Yeah, definitely. This gives you complete trust and clarity from everything from the ease of use and efficiency and time savings for your practice, but then it's the complete client file. So it now becomes directly from TaxCalc, you have a defensible client file. So no longer have you got this fragmentation of, you've got some emails in your Outlook, you've got some documents in folders, you've got some paperwork, and you've got to hope that everyone has done it 100%. Yeah. Religiously every single time. And I know that I've been doing this for 16 years in the accountancy sector, and 9 out of 10 firms say that's what's supposed to happen, but doesn't really, because you get hundreds of emails every day, you get loads of documents to deal with, and who comes to work thinking, yay, can't wait to follow my emails every day? It's just horrible, right? And we take all of that out of the equation for you.
David, can I just ask one question that I want you to answer it, because I think you'll know it in more detail than I will. Heather's asked, where is the information regarding to Workiro actually stored? Because she's concerned about data security, obviously. Just wants to know where the Workiro data is stored.
Yeah, sure. It's all our cloud host architecture is in AWS, but it's all in our UK data centers. So obviously we make sure that we're adhering to all of the GDPR and data sovereignty that you need to adhere to as a UK practice.
Perfect. Cheers, Dave. And there's one thing I just want to ask as well, because Gareth asked, how does the Workiro integration work with e-sign in TaxCalc when signed accounts received from a client and they filed into Workiro automatically? Do you mind if I just share my screen there just to answer that one, Gareth, Dave, for Gareth? Just because I think it shows that, and then obviously you can take it over and come back. So let me just share my screen on here. That's come through. Let me know that's come through to you, Andy.
Yep, got it.
Yeah, fantastic. So if you're in your home screen in TaxCalc and you've got e-sign center here, if you click launch in the middle of the screen, it gives you a list of all the envelopes you've ever used for signable through TaxCalc. You can say, for example, just show me the completed ones. So I'll show you the filed ones, of which you'll be able to select the relevant one. For example, this one for Isaac Indigo. And then on the left-hand side, you've got that Send to Document Manager button that Dave showed before in the HMRC Forms function. It's the exact same option. You select it, and then you would choose where that goes through to Workiro. So, Gareth, hopefully that will show you that even if you wanted to use TaxCalc eSign for approvals, you can still send it to Workiro afterwards. I appreciate if you're using Workiro, you may want to use the Workiro portal for approvals. Absolutely, your prerogative, and and I'm sure Dave would recommend that's your process if that's where your documents are stored. That's absolutely fine. If there was a reason you still wanted to use the TaxCalc eSign function, you would push the Send to Document Manager button there to send it through.
Another question that's just come through, quite interesting. So, is it only for clients? What about for prospects? I mean, I guess if they're in Engager, then would that work with prospects?
Yeah, really good question, actually, and I should have covered it, so thank you for bringing it up. Workiro is able to be configured to any type of work. So whether it's your prospect list, whether it's your existing live clients, we also, from our virtual cabinet days, we look after accountancy firms that are sole practitioners right the way through the mid-market, all the way to the 25% of the UK top 100 firms. In any of those mixes, we can have multidiscipline accountancy firms. So maybe they have an accounting division, but they might have a IFA arm, they might have an insolvency arm, and so on. Workiro can also have a section for that part of your business. And why that's also relevant is that we can integrate to the software that they use. So if they're using some case management in insolvency and they're using some financial wealth software in the IFA division and TaxCalc in their accounting division, you'd be able to use Workiro and see right across the entire client. So therefore, if you're offering different services, you'd be able to see the full picture. So incredibly configurable. In fact, not just your prospects, but you could have your own section for, IT, finance, whatever.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay. Thank you, Dave.
Should
you
I
want to minimize the little repeat box of us again?
Yeah. So I just quickly, before I sort of move on to a bit more about the integration, is that Workiro is built from mobile phone up. So it's not just that it's a browser in the cloud. It comes with its own native Apple app. It comes with Android app. It comes with desktop for Apple, as well as Mac and Windows devices. So if I just hop across to my desktop version of the Workiro application and just show you what Nick was talking about earlier, which is not even in the client file, right? But then I need to find something very, very quickly. So imagine a scenario that a client rings you up, they're talking to you about HMRC investigation across a number of properties that they have, and you want to bring back all the relevant information relating to, let's just say, in this case, 14 Ashbourne Close. What Workiro is now doing is going and looking across everything. And you saw the email that I was working across today in that record. I can just double click that and you can see that there is 14 Ashbourne Close within the email. So any file that comes into Workiro is automatically content searchable as soon as it hits the system. So not only have you got this filing convention that makes everything really nice and easy to work with, but you've also got the content search to underpin that as well. So you've got complete confidence in it. Last thing, in terms of the current build of the TaxCalc integration, I showed you launching Workiro directly from when you've saved a document, but I'm in Oakfield Property Holdings here. And if you go to the comms activity, you'll be able to see the full audit is there. And if you click on it, you'd be able to launch Workiro directly from your device. And I think that's really important, because what we're trying to say here is that, yes, there might be two software providers, but we are really trying to put the accountant at the very center of all of this. So it's two software providers, but offering one integrated solution as we move forward. And really, that is very much the the sort of the starter kit, and there's a huge amount of value in all of that, but we're going to go a lot further and deeper as we work with you as to what is really important. So Andy, how much time have I got left, or is that
you're okay? We've got a few questions, and we do want to get into some one more section about Engager, but go for it. No, take another 5 minutes.
Okay,
Dave, there's one question just before we go any further. There's one question that's probably the most important bit actually that Georgina's asked in the chat, which is, what does it cost, Dave?
Yeah, great question. So yeah, wasn't it free? So we've got a very transparent pricing model. It's based on a user member of staff. It works out at approximately, I would say, £1 a day for a member of staff. So £35 per user per month for everything, which is your document management, your email capture in there, your integration. Nick alluded to it. We've got unlimited e-signing built in to that client portal, workflow and task capability as well. So there's no modules or additional price points that you would hit. You get everything, including unlimited document storage in that.
And before we move on, just if a customer is using Smart Vault now, what's the options for them?
Yeah, so obviously carry on using Smart Vault, not going anywhere, still integrated to TaxCalc. That's what you're doing. If you would like to move to the latest and greatest, then go to Workiro. We're offering a free migration path for anyone that's on Smart Vault. So the professional services of migrating your documents out of Smart Vault and coming to Workiro, we're doing that completely free of charge for you, as you know, our commitment to showing the relationship between TaxCalc and our business.
Fantastic, thank you. You've
So
now got 3 minutes, by the way.
Okay, right, really quickly then. So maybe I'll just finish on, rather than showing any more really, is you've only seen the tip of the iceberg of what Workiro can do, because I've focused in on the integration points, which is absolutely the right thing to do because it's obviously a TaxCalc audience. But if you're wondering, okay, fine, but what else does it do? It does so much more. It's got workflow built in, and just to be absolutely clear, this is not an overlap of workflow within your tax and compliance or practice management software. This is complementary flows. And what I mean by that is that you often will have a checklist. So if you think about Engager, you'll have all of your tasks and checklists in there. But as you're going through your process, normally when you are gathering information, adding documents, looking for internal approvals or external approvals, a load of that is going into emails. And that is where you start to lose all visibility, traceability, accountability, right? I think it's just like chucking it over the fence. And I hope you got the email, and when you're going to deal with that, Workiro solves all of those problems because we have tasks and we also have workflows. So just an example here is that we can create workflows for any practice process. So if you have, you know, your corporation tax computation, and that would normally need an internal approval, that can just pop out a TaxCalc, potentially even capture it, file it, and kick off a workflow in the future at the same time. And then you'll start to have that reporting and status updating as it's going through, and you're doing your communication, all whilst linking it to the client file. So there's no further saving and administration as we go through. And we've got the ability to update other core systems. For example, we might be able to update TaxCalc and Engager the statuses of those tasks as it goes through the actual work process, both internally and externally. And you can see where all this is going, right? And I've alluded to the AI that's baked into Workiro. So maybe, hopefully, if I haven't bored you to tears, I might get invited back in the future and I'll do a proper demonstration of the workflows. But obviously where we want to get to is not just the automation of the workflows, is that with the AI capabilities that we have, is we can start to actually have the software learning and becoming intelligent and proactively going through your workflows removing you from the administrative burden again of tracking all of that and it being very proactive for you. And a good example of this is our recent integration with all the language models, the most common ones, I should say. So you've got ChatGPT, Claude, you've got Copilot, even Copilot within Teams. So this is now integrated to Workiro. So I've just asked Claude there to bring back a connection from Workiro, and you can see it's brought back the relevant information. If I click on the link, it would open up Workiro directly from Claude, so I can go and review the file. But I can come in here and start asking it language-based questions. So I could say, I'm going to visit this client tomorrow. Please give me a summary. Okay, so
yeah, and this bit, Dave, without the system being able to go and track that, if you're in a multi-staff firm, the information that you want might be stored in someone's head who's on annual leave, right? If you're not using a document management system like Workiro, being able just to, it could probably take less than a minute to go and get all that information, but having that just in one quick summary, I dread to think how much time you would save just having that provided to you rather than to go and ask for it all.
Well, it's the assurance, isn't it, that you kind of know you can get hold of it. It's that there's no that worry that it might not be where you thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, Nick, if you were actually trying to truly recreate the file, and all you were looking at is some Windows folders and some emails in there, and you're a partner, not necessarily working directly on the admin of the file, and you needed to go and see a client tomorrow and be completely up to date with what's going on, could you actually get that from the folder structure?
I mean, how many people who use a folder structure have emails stored in it for a start, right? Very, very few, I expect, will actually go and store emails in a folder structure. So, and emails are probably the most important bit, right? To have that communication available to them. So, if you're storing even documentation in folder structure, that the information you want might be 2/3 of the way down a document, you need to go and pull it out. Whereas this can track and view all that information within it. Like it's genuinely incredible information you can get out of it to the click of a button.
Got a couple of questions, and then I wouldn't mind moving on just because I wanted to just talk about what's been put out in Engager in a minute. But the question is, what about using? So Jadrina says, business WhatsApp. Will it work with WhatsApp and other messaging services?
We've got our own built-in messaging service, which I haven't gone through today, which again, more than happy to talk about next time. But short answer, not currently integrated to WhatsApp, but would love to hear more if I can follow up afterwards and see how you're using it. It's certainly something that we could look at in the future. Okay,
so by the way, again, if you go back into the polls, if you do want to follow up on this or Engager or TaxCalc, then indicate that. And Michaela, I would urge, Georgina, sorry, I would ask you to, if you put that in, and we can make sure your details get to David. Michaela, your question.
I'm just going to pick up one more actually as well. It's in the chat. I'm just going to press play on it, and David might be able to see it on screen, but it's about the actual process of moving documentation across. So if you're currently using a Microsoft folder structure for documents and emails, what is the actual process to getting that into Workiro as part of that data migration process that you said you were going to fundamentally offer for free as part of that golden ticket system?
Oh, Dave, your script. There you
go. Sorry, repeat the question.
So if you're currently using a Microsoft folder structure for documents and emails, what's the process to actually move that across to Workiro as part of that golden ticket free offer that you're offering at the minute, Dave?
Yeah, so we've got a professional services team that all they do, bless their cotton socks, because it must be so boring, is do migrations from legacy DMs, folders, Smart Vault, and so on. So the process is, we'd quickly dive on remotely, give you a report of what your folder structure looks like. Then we would map that to Workiro. At that time, we could do some cleaning up, etc. But we'd actually map the existing folders and naming structure to the new Workiro one. We'd migrate the documents across as part of the service of what we do. So yeah, it's relatively seamless. We've been doing it for the last 20 years.
Awesome. Okay, so question I would like to tackle is the one that came through in the chat about from Michaela. I'm new to TaxCalc and Engager. Is Workiro doing much more than Engager? I think that might be an opportunity, Nick, to, in the last few minutes, just summarize what Engager can do and how that differs from Workiro, and also touch on what is new, because I know we've had some recent additions to the Engager functionality set.
Yeah, so I think if I was to focus on what Engager does that Workiro doesn't primarily, right? It's that it's primarily the client onboarding piece. So going through the pricing up of services, going through the proposals elements, sending out engagement letters, professional clearance letters actually is something which, you know, when I roll out Engager to firms, they find that takes so much more time than people think it should do in terms of producing a letter to send to the previous accountant asking for the relevant information. And Engager can have that done in less than 30 seconds, right? Just by going, I want a professional clearance letter. Bang, there you go. And it asks for the relevant information depending on what services are turned on for that prospect, right? Before they move across to you. It allows you to track all your work through a Kanban style job tracking tool, but the work's a bit like T cards on the wall that accounting practices used to have. That's what I fundamentally used to use. It starts with the initial onboarding piece, but then into that day-to-day practice management piece. It can have automated reminders for your clients who haven't sent you their next information regarding the Q2 of MTD for it. When that comes around again, I'm sure we're all looking forward to the next quarter of information coming in, right? But yeah, Engager, TaxCalc, Workiro, absolutely designed to work as that. I feel like Ricky Gervais. Work as that trio of practice management, compliance, and document management systems all together with an integrated piece between them. Dave's quite rightly saying, you know, what can we do more to make that trio of systems work even tighter and even smarter? And that's what we're going to continuously look to do around, you know, the automatic update of a job in Engager, potentially when a document is approved in Workiro or approved in Engager, however you want to do it, right? These are the things we're wanting to add in to make your life easier. It's easier for me to say because I'm not in the product team, right? They've got to build it. I can say it, they've got to build it, right? But yeah, Engager, that practice management piece. Hopefully, Andy, I've managed to keep that concise.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's perfectly described. They're doing fundamentally different things, but all in harmony, all in concert. Just, it would be worth, because I did get a question earlier from Askid I didn't want to ignore, which was about what is the next phase of integration between TaxCalc and Engager. And there is news of the most recent one that's now live, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So the one that is now live that people love is the compliance data that is available in TaxCalc being surfaced in Engager. Things like the next corporation tax payment that is due being made available to be able to send out a mass email to your clients that can include that corporation tax payment due, but hugely beneficial. So you can say right now, show me all the clients that have got November year ends. I want to send them all a corporation tax payment reminder to say what they need to pay. Now they may have already paid it, that's fine, but I think reminding someone to pay a bill that they've already paid, and you can put that in the wording of the email template, so you've already paid it, great. I still think that's better, reminding someone to pay something that they've already paid than not reminding someone to pay something that they've not paid. Yeah, I think your client will appreciate the nudge to remind it, even if they remember to do it. So yeah, that is the big thing. We added in July, I appreciate it's not kind of relevant now, but we added in July the ability to send out payment on account reminders, right? That information from the TaxCalc compliance data available in Engager. And that's just the first iteration of that TaxCalc compliance data. You know, we're going to be able to bring in more tax and more accounts data from the TaxCalc database in Engager. You know, the ability to send out a detailed self-assessment questionnaire to your clients to go and fill in. And when they fill it in, you can review it on screen, and that can then go and populate the actual tax return in TaxCalc. A proper end-to-end data transfer of compliance data from your compliance system in TaxCalc to your practice management system in Engager. And then, you know what, once they've filled in that form, wouldn't that be great for that form to then be able to be stored in Workiro as a record of that document that they've gone and filled in, right? That's the connection that you're going to see between these three systems. So yeah, that's what we've released, and that's what we're looking to release in probably the next 6 months, I would expect.
Fantastic. Well, look, we've come to an end. I want to thank you both very, very much for your always invaluable output. What do we think, chat? Shall we invite Dave back? Did he do well? Did we enjoy him? If you, I'm sure we will invite him back. But yes, put that in. If you do want any follow-up, once again, use that poll that I posted earlier and we can organize a follow-up with you. I would like to let you know that on the 10th of September, TaxCalc is on the road. I've just put a link in the, that's not worked. I have to send a link out later to our Edinburgh. Fusion on the Road is reaching the Science Museum in Edinburgh. Where we will have a number of speakers. Ariana Bayrakerte is going to be talking about how she's built an AI, not an AI-powered practice, but an AI-powered staff in her firm. We're also then going to be at Accountex in Manchester on the 15th of September. Please do come and see us. We can't wait to show you what we've got. We can't wait to answer your questions. And if you're not a TaxCalc customer, come and see us and find out what you're missing out on. I'll also be on stage with Lucy Cohen from Mazuma, with Billy McLaughlin from AI Accounting, and Lucy Williams from JS Accounting and Business Advisors, who are going to be discussing how AI is impacting the structure of firms and hiring, and how what the firms are going to look like in probably a few years' time. So thank you all for joining us on this very, very hot August day. We'll be back in September for another Power Hour. Please do join us. Tell all your friends about the Power Hour too. If they're not coming, they're missing out. But in the meantime, I want to wish you a very best for the rest of the summer. Thank you all. Cheers. Bye-bye.